Hey guys, welcome to Now That's Debatable. Again with the new format. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Please let us know in the comments. If you disagree, if you agree, if you like what the new format looks like, let us know. We're going to go ahead and jump into another episode for you. Another quick digestible bit. This time we're going to be taking on the Titan submarine, which has been all over social media. And we know we're a little late getting to it. It's been in the news. It's been the butt of jokes. It's memes everywhere. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And if you're completely living under a rock, if you're not aware, there was a Titan submersible that contained a crew of 5 people that were going to look and take pictures of the Titanic wreckage, which I shouldn't have to explain. The Titanic was a ship that wrecked
You
in
know, if
19,
you don't know what the Titanic is, just Google it.
1912. It wrecked. It hit an
It,
iceberg.
it,
There's a
erecting
movie
it,
about it.
erecting the Atlantic Ocean, and what the Atlantic Ocean is. No, let me stop. Let me stop.
hopefully you guys are at least aware of what the Titanic is. The name of the sub, which is a little confusing, is the Titan. And it was put out by a company called Ocean Labs. But just wanted to take on this kind of from a different perspective, I think. So do you kind of want to talk about what we talked about earlier and kind of introduce people, and then we'll have a little bit of a back and forth. And then I'd love to hear what people that watch this think on our take on it, because it's something that I don't think is being talked about enough.
Yeah, the way that it's being handled, 5 people dying. And I mean, I've seen a lot of jokes about it, memes and stuff. Even like a lot of my friends on Facebook are sharing them. A lot of the same people that demand tolerance for some of your marginalized groups, um, transgenders and um, uh, lesbian, gay, bisexual, all that kind of stuff. Which I wholly, me and Facade both wholly support. But there's just I think it's been just some hypocrisy that I guess it seems that, well, the way I interpret it is that I think a lot of people think that just because they are billionaires that maybe they're awful people, or that they somehow deserved it, or somehow it's less sad
Yeah, I mean, like
because
I've noticed with these memes, and a lot of them aren't. I mean, they're not even humorous in the sense that if I thought this was a funny event, but it seems that we're like taking time to put stuff together just because these are rich individuals.
yeah.
Like they're
And
marginalized for being wealthy, and like don't get me wrong. I personally, and I know AAA and I kind of have a little bit of a disagreement on wealth and stuff like that. But in general, I'm not. I think the system in which we currently live that allows someone to attain and acquire billions of dollars worth of wealth, whereas people are on the street dying, means that there's something wrong with the system. But what that doesn't mean is that I should get to make fun of billionaires or millionaires that tragically lost their family. Like that's still really messed up. And I like AAA was saying is that we've seen this from I've seen it from people that are I'll just say really far left and really far right, and it seems to like it's weird that people are coming together in a sense of community to just bash these wealthy individuals.
yeah, it really is strange. I mean, like as if they're not even human. And then like, there's some people that says they should have known, that this thing was gonna implode on itself. I mean, there was really no reason to know that, unless you're like some sort of investigative journalist that looked into like some of the corruption and some of their underhanded deals they went through to cover up this stuff. But
And
I
even
mean,
then, like we did have like several successful missions with
they
the
did,
same
yeah, because
same submersible.
with the
So
with the very same submersible, like that was the seventh trip to the Titanic.
yeah, I mean
So
we had successful trips in the past of the submersible. So it's not like I mean there may have been corners cut. I don't know. It's not my point to speculate on that. The whole topic that I wanted to bring up and the whole topic that we talked about is just this is strange. It's so strange to me that we especially people that seem to be more left leaning or liberal. And I don't mean to box people up, but I will. That these people that are like pro rights and pro people and pro these good things, the things that make the things that truly make America great, like us being a melting pot and us accepting people for who they are. Right? These things that are very admirable, these things that are very commendable. We take these things and we fight for them on one breath, and then the minute five people that are extremely wealthy die in a submarine, we're like, oh, well, let's make a funny meme about that because nothing says humor like a family losing their father and son in the same terrible accident.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so baffled.
Right. And there was also there was a 19-year-old on it. He was there just as a favor to his father for Father's Day. So even if you think he's somehow evil for being rich, he couldn't help that. That's just the way he was born. He was born into a wealthy family. Like that's not something that he could help. I mean, and I just want to emphasize, man, these were humans, and their families are still around. Just the way this is just being treated, like it's just baffling. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it's just
You know,
if you're the person or the kind of person that are laughing at these memes, or if you're creating these memes and you're sharing them, I mean, I know it's hard to do because there's an extreme wealth gap between people that could afford to go on this and probably yourself or me, definitely me. I don't know about every person that watches this financial situation. I don't have an extra $250,000 lying around to take a joy trip to the bottom of the sea, right?
no,
But
definitely
if
don't have an extra 250.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, my whole point here being is that like just take yourself and put yourself in their shoes. Like, how would you feel if you were the wife left behind by their father and son? How would you feel about the families that got tragically less people because of this incident? And it seems to me like us laughing at them is it's just it's really not the way to go, guys. Like it's to me the way that it's being handled is so strange because I love videos and movies of like people coming together. And you see things that like and I'll give you an example. I live in the Boston area, and when you see one of our sports team win the title, which happens more often than I don't care because I don't watch professional sports and I don't care if you watch them either. But when our team in Boston wins a national sports title, right? You see people of all colors, all backgrounds, all shapes, all sizes, all job performance, all people that are anything from homeless to the CEO of the largest companies in the Northeast coming together to celebrate. And they put everything aside and it's just a party, right? And I love that. I love that community. I love that getting together. For a second, you could care less what someone's politics are, what their wealth status is, what anything else is. It doesn't matter how they identify, it doesn't matter their sexual orientation, nothing. Because the only thing that matters is that the city in which you're representing has done something that is awesome, right? And everybody's celebrating. And I love it. I just find it extremely strange that something like the tragedy of the Titan imploding on itself is one of those things that are bringing people together from all walks of life. To me, that is a it's just baffling. I don't understand
yeah.
it.
These weren't criminals that were on the submersible. They weren't terrorists. They weren't bad people. I mean, chances are you never even heard of them. Didn't know
Yeah,
who these people were until they died. Like I never heard of Ocean Gate
nope.
or the sea. I didn't know what it was until
I,
after he died.
I couldn't
You
have
know,
told you a single person's name on the sub. I couldn't have told you a single person's occupation. If it weren't for all the news articles and memes, I couldn't have told you how much it would have cost to get on the boat.
right? As a
You know
matter
what
of
I'm
fact,
saying? Like, I just
when I first heard Ocean Gate, like I thought it was a scandal. Actually,
yeah,
I
same.
didn't I didn't I
I
didn't
thought
think
the
it's the
same
name
thing.
of the company. Yeah, because usually they put Gate after a word, and that means a scandal because it's coming from like the Watergate thing, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, there was
but
like to go back to the Boston sports. There was a whole deflate gate with Tom Brady, like that.
yeah,
Like
Deflate
when
Gate, Climate Gate, right?
yeah,
So, but yeah,
you
that's
hear these things and you think scandal, and that's genuinely what I thought as well because I wasn't that invested in it, and I probably wouldn't have been invested in it. I probably genuinely like other than like it's a terrible loss. I probably wouldn't have put much thought into it, but then people started making these memes, and I'm like, I don't understand what people are finding humorous about the situation. I just don't.
well,
So,
there was. I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say so. There is so I don't know if you heard about the that ship that was in I think it was in Italy or crossing. It was in the Mediterranean or something. It had 700 immigrants on it, and about 600 of them died, and from the ship sinking. This happened like the same day of the Oceangate thing, and so people was looking at that and was saying, "Hey, what about these other guys?" You know, and so like the media just don't care, and that's part of the reason why they're making fun of the deaths from the Ocean Gate. And so I just want to caution you about that type of thinking. First of all, the guys that were in the submersible, they can't help who the media focuses on.
Yep.
And so also, I mean, can't both things be just as tragic? I don't see why just because there was way more people, poor people in the Mediterranean that died, that doesn't mean that it's okay to laugh at what happened over here. So
Yeah,
just
I'll wrap it up with this if I can, because it's the thought that I shared with you earlier, and it kind of expands upon what you were just saying. And that's that if you think that the 1912 sinking of the Titanic was a tragedy, the difference is about 110 years. Because chances are, if you can't afford to go on a Titan cruise to see the Titanic wreckage, your ancestors probably couldn't afford to get on the Titanic either. So if the Titanic is a tragedy, why isn't the Titan a tragedy? And if you have a genuine reason as to why you think those two things are mutually exclusive, or you're one of the people that have created the memes and you think this is one of the funniest things you've ever heard, comment. Let us know. Let us know why this is what you think. And if it's just a disdain for wealthy people, there's better ways to express yourself. It's not creating memes about people who tragically died in a submarine. That's not it. Well, thank you guys for listening to this one. I know it was a little rough and it's a little harder to subject to kind of to do because it's a very somber one. But hope you guys are liking the new format. Please let us know in the comments below if you agree, disagree, if you like the way the new format's going. Give us topics for suggestion, and we'll see you guys next week.